everyone, welcome to the Teacher's Time Off with Adora. Hello everyone, welcome to the Teacher's Time Off with Adora. Yes, welcome to another episode with AdoraI Igunma. I am your host and I'll be here with you today giving you some very interesting video. I'll be giving you an interesting video today. But before we go further, if this is your first time joining us, I'm blowing confetti for you. Welcome. Now, if you have not subscribed yet, make sure you do that. Just click the subscribe button right now. Click the subscribe button and don't stop there. Ensure you click the bell button as well so that you know when I go live or when I post a new video. So do that right now. Just click. All right. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back to the Teacher's Time Off with Adora. Thank you so much for being here. Do not forget to always share the videos. Ensure you give these resources to teachers so that they have a place to always come to when they need help. All right. So if you have never if you've never shared our video, if you've never shared my video to anyone, you can do that right now. Just copy the link right now. Just copy the link and share to someone. Thank you all for subscribing. I've seen my subscribers have increased. I want to get to 200 before the end of the year. So ensure that you do that right now. Subscribe. Tell everyone to subscribe. Use all your accounts to subscribe. All right. So without further ado, let's dive in. All right, so today I want us to talk about something very important. And by the way, this is my last video for the year 2022. From next week, I'm going on a break and I'll be back next year in February because January is a very busy month for me. It's a very busy month for us at the Fresh Look Africa. And so I may not have the chance to post videos, but I will try to make videos during my break as much as I can, even though I still have lots of work to do during my holiday. But I will be going on break next week, and so you will not see me here. And from next year, I will not be posting videos on Tuesdays anymore. I'll be posting videos on Wednesdays. Okay, so when you come on Wednesdays, you're going to see videos here all the time. All right, now today I want to talk about something very important against next term, right? There's something that some teachers do a lot, and that is, especially English teachers, no shades. But what they do a lot of times is when they're in an essay class, they want to teach writing, they tell their children or their students to write about their holidays or their Christmas break, or write about what happened during their holidays. Now, we have to be very careful with that kind of question. When you say write about your holiday, write about your Christmas break, because what if they did not have a Christmas break or a Christmas holiday? Or what if something bad happened? Maybe they lost a loved one, or they experience some form of trauma, or they experience some form of abuse. What happens then, right? So we have to be very careful when we give essay writing questions or statements, or I don't know what it's called, right? When you say write about your holiday, write about your last break, write about something maybe related to the home, you have to be very careful, right? It means that if you're asking that question, I want you to go through the rigor of knowing your students. Like, you need to know them so well that you know none of them were affected by the break during their break. None of them have any form of trauma and all of those things, because it's very easy for us to assume that our students have not experienced trauma, because you'd be like, oh, they're just children. Well, what kind of trauma can they experience? But to be honest, there are some children that have experienced trauma or are experiencing trauma, and anything can be a trigger to them. And you need to be very careful to not be the trigger, right? Or for your question to not be that trigger to them. right? So you want to be very careful. You need to know your students, build a relationship with your students, right? That's the first thing I need you to do at all times. Build a relationship with your students. Don't just go asking them to write something about their home or parents or something. You need to be very careful. What if their parents had a divorce, right? Or they're about to divorce, or, you know, there's domestic violence in the home. You need to be very sensitive to the emotions of your students. You need to be very sensitive to the needs of your students. You need to know your students, have and build a relationship with your students so that you know like some of these very crucial informations about them. They might not go into details, but you need to be sure and you need to know if they're experiencing trauma and know how you can step in as a teacher, because even as, you know, secondary care caregivers to our students, we are very responsible for their emotions, right? We need to be sure. Now, another thing I need you to do in giving those kinds of essays is to deploy UDL, right? You can tell them to write. You want to check their writing. You really do not want to know how their whole day went, even though sometimes that's the whole idea, that's the motive, right? But sometimes it's to check their writing. You just want to know if they are great at their writing skills and you've built on what you've taught them, right? So you can give them the opportunity to write anything they want to write on, but you have your rubrics, right? You have your rubrics, you have all the things that you want them to deploy in their writing. So you just tell them, okay, go ahead, write whatever you want to write, and give them the opportunity to pick whatever topics they want to pick. Or it doesn't even have to be writing. Sometimes it can be speaking, right? You can tell them to shoot a video if they want to, whichever one they're comfortable with. That is deploying universal design learning principles, right? Giving them, ensuring that whatever you're giving can fit the needs of every student in your classroom, not boxing all of them in a space and say you have to write about this, right? You have to give students that autonomy to become, you know, great decision makers when it comes to things like that. And another thing I need you to do is to ensure that the reason why you're asking that question is actually pure. Sometimes some teachers just want to read gist. They just want to, you know, just have gist. Oh, this is supposed to the US. Wow. So when their friends are coming the next time, I'm going to ask for money. I'm going to say, you went to the US. Why not? So ensure you know your motives, right? What are your motives? Why are you asking them that question? If it's simply to check their writing, then you can deploy UDL. But if you know there's something else under there, but if it's purely because you just want to know, then you can still deploy. You need to deploy UDL, right? You really do not want to have them write about it and cause any triggers. If it's in a conversation where you can see their face, you can see their emotions, you can tell when they're getting uncomfortable with you asking them those questions so that you can stop, then it's better doing it that way. Another thing I need you to do is to always create boundaries. There are some things that you should not ask your students. There are some questions that you should not ask your students because you just want them to write an essay, right? So you have to create boundaries. Even in setting your assessments, create boundaries. There are some teachers that ask certain questions, even in exams, right? It's you have to be very sensitive. If you're a social studies teacher and you're still saying, the mommy does this and the daddy, the mom is in charge of dash and dad is in charge of dash. You have to be very careful because that can also be a trigger. What if that child is an orphan, or what if that child is being raised by a single parent? So you need to be very, very careful. And so another thing that I need you to read up on, I might not go into details, or I will not go into details, is to learn about trauma-informed teaching practices. Trauma-informed teaching practices. You need to be able to know about how to be sensitive to your students' traumas, and also know how to care for your students' traumas, you know. So you need to also know how to empower your students to overcome those traumas as well. Okay, so go read up on trauma-informed teaching practices. I might have talk about that next year, but I don't know yet. I might speak to that, but I don't know yet. But yes, go do that. It's an assignment for you against next year. All right. Oh, I did it. We did it. I've come to the end of today's video. I've come to the end of the video for my YouTube videos for the year. I might just drop a surprise video. Who knows? If I have the time and the energy to do so. But if not, I will see you in my DMs on Instagram, on Facebook, on WhatsApp, wherever. You can reach out to me. We can have conversations. You can drop your ideas. What would you want to see next year? Because I'm ready. I am ready for you. What would you like to see on my YouTube channel next year? What would you like to see on Teacher's Time Off with Adora next year? Like, how would you want it to be? What's on your mind? Let me know. I got you. All right. Thank you so much for being with me since when we began in September till now. It's been amazing. Was it September we started? Okay, I'll have to check that. I have to ensure that I'm correct. But thank you so much for sticking with me. I will see you next year, and coming with new content, you know, with new everything, new resources. I am ready. At least next semester I have just one course, so hopefully I get some extra time on my hands to do some other things that I really want to do outside of school work, right? You know, putting all that I've learned in school to practice. Yes. Okay. So do not forget to subscribe. Do that right now. Do not forget to share with your friends. Do not forget to share with other teachers. Do not forget to click on the bell button to ensure that you know when I go live or when maybe I post a surprise video. Okay. I will see you next year. Okay, do not forget to register for the First Look Africa Summit 2023. The link is in the description box. Do that right now and share with other teachers. I love you. I remain Adora Iguma. Stay blessed.